Aloha and welcome to another episode of LesBcookin808. Today we're gonna make Jook, or some people say Chook, or some people say Congee. Whatever you want to call it, we're gonna make that today. It was a request from one of my friends, Doreen, who is at the front line in EMT. She doesn't always have the time to cook for her family, so thought I'd go ahead and make a big pot of Jook for her and her family. Thank her for, working at the front line during these, times of uncertainty with the COVID. So with my Jook that I'm cooking, I bought out the big pot. I don't know I don't know if it's 16 quarts. I'm assuming so, but usually when people make Jook, they use the leftover carcass of, the turkey, after Thanksgiving, or chicken, but I don't have any of that. So I have chicken legs. So I went ahead and stuck it in a pot. I'm gonna let it boil. I'm gonna cover it, let it boil. There's many ways of making Jook. This is just my way that I grew up learning how to make. So I have the chicken legs in there, put some water, and I'm just gonna let it boil. I'm gonna add some salt actually to this, so it'll flavor the water and the chicken, because that's gonna be the broth basically for the Jook. Okay, so the chicken has been boiling for about an hour and a half, and basically if you look in here, it just breaks off. You can see how soft it is. It just breaks off. I don't know if my cameraman is getting the shot, but it just breaks apart. So that's when you want it to that texture where it just breaks apart, it just falls off the bone. And so while this thing was boiling, it was actually creating that stock. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and remove the chicken from the pot. We're gonna shred it and then put it back in the pot. So you just kind of want to basically, this is the consistency it has from boiling it. So you kind of made a stock, from boiling this, and then just, remove the bones. We're gonna discard of the bones, and then we're gonna keep the meat. And you can use a fork. It's hot. If you have fingers that can handle this heat, you can just use your fingers. But we're just gonna go ahead, and remove all the chicken from the bone. Okay, so while the chicken is boiling, you can go ahead and cut your vegetables. One of them that I like to add is lotus root or hasu. So you just kind of cut them up small. You can add whatever you want to your Jook. This is your Jook. If you want to have hasu in it, you can add it. You don't have to add. Some people put round onion. I don't use it. I like to use vegetables that are basically clean, meaning they don't really alter the taste of the flavorings. It's like onion is kind of pungent. So I have daikon or white radish. I have celery, hasu, and carrots. So we're gonna go ahead. If you look in a pot, I went ahead and skimmed most of the gunk off of it. Again, we don't want an oily soup. I don't want an oily Jook. So we're gonna add we just added the carrot. We're gonna add the lotus root and the celery. The amount is totally up to you. And then we're gonna add the daikon. If you want to add mushroom, you can add whatever you want. This is your congee. This is your Jook. But that's what I like to add. And then I'm also going to add some chopped up water chestnuts. So we're going to boil this, and then we're going to throw the rest of the chicken back in. And then the last thing we're going to add is cooked rice. So everything is in the pot. It's been cooking. At this time, we're going to put in the rice. Some people put in raw rice, was just totally fine. I just find that it cooks faster. Because all of us, when we cook, we're worried about time. That if you use cooked rice, whoopsie.
This is cooked last night.
Yeah, cooked rice, and add it in. It just cooks faster. The rice will expand, absorb the liquid. If you put in raw rice, you have to take into consideration that it's gonna absorb more liquid. So depending on how big your pot is, is the amount of rice you're going to put in. So for about this pot, there's about like 12 quarts, and we put about 4 cups of rice. So if I need more rice, I'm just gonna add more cooked rice to this. So now the rice is in the pot. Just gonna go ahead, mix it up, break up the rice, break it up. Let the rice absorb all this liquid. Again, it's going to expand. So once you break up all the rice, you can kind of just let it sit and boil on a soft boil, not a hard boil. So the jook is complete. I actually had to add a little bit more rice. Whatever consistency you like. You can make it. You want less rice and just put less rice, but this is kind of the consistency we like to make jook at. And then you wanna taste it. If you want more flavor, you can add chicken broth or chicken bouillon. For me, I just like to add salt. A very simple, clean tasting jook. This is the finished product. Blow it, it's hot. Good.